You know, he coming behind his jab. He throwing straight punches. He going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense. But other than that, man, he good. He ready for Canelo. There you go.
Terence Crawford is gathering all the help he can as he prepares for his fight against Canelo Alvarez in September. Yesterday, he attended the David Benavidez versus David Morrell press conference, not just as a spectator, but to train with Benavidez after the event. After training with Floyd Mayweather last week, Terence Crawford has now turned to someone who has been in the conversation about fighting Canelo Alvarez for years. Aside from Dimitri Bivol, who handed Canelo a loss, David Benavidez is seen as one of the most knowledgeable fighters when it comes to Canelo. The Mexican monster has always been confident that he would beat Canelo if they ever faced off. The ring?
Fight luck with Benavidez. Who do you favor?
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good.
However, Canelo Alvarez has consistently declined to fight him. Now, Terence Crawford has decided to connect with David Benavidez as he prepares for his own bout against Canelo. The two spent time analyzing Canelo's boxing style and technique before exchanging their thoughts on how he matches up. Benavidez has long been regarded as one of boxing's most dangerous fighters, earning the nickname Boogeyman for his dominance in the ring.
You know, first of all, I tried to shake his hand. You know what I mean? I try to be cool. Because last press conference, you know, we did the talking, but then in the middle, after, we know he was cordial, we were shaking hands and stuff, so. No, I was just expecting the same thing.
However, his upcoming fight against David Morrell is more than just another matchup. It's personal. Set for February 1st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this long-awaited showdown has been brewing for years, with Morrell repeatedly calling out Benavidez. Morrell, undefeated with an 11-0 record and 9 knockouts, believes he has what it takes to take down the WBC interim champion. But Benavidez is focused on more than just securing a victory.
I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talked, and I'm not in this position because of any.
When it comes to facing Crawford, Canelo Alvarez has never been fully convinced that the fight makes sense. He sees Crawford as too small and expects him to rely on a defensive strategy. He's a good fighter, I know that, Alvarez said about Crawford. He thinks he can do everything, but I think he understands it's a different game at 154. He's a good fighter, but that's why weight classes exist. I like Terence Crawford and his style. It's just different. You could see that in his fight. Was against Madoff. It's just different.
If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was
it's not that.
As for other potential opponents, Alvarez hinted that it might be best to wait a little longer before facing undefeated former 168-pound champion David Benavidez. Benavidez is currently chasing a fight with whoever emerges as the undisputed light heavyweight champion when undefeated Russians Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev clash in Saudi Arabia on August 12th. If people want to see that fight, they'll have to pay, Alvarez said. He also expressed interest in fighting in Japan, where one of his most admired fighters, former featherweight champion Oscar Larios of Mexico, competed several times.
Not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he...
I like to take things one fight at a time, but I definitely love the experience of fighting in Japan, Alvarez said. I grew up watching Jorge Linares. He fought in Japan many times, and I really want to experience that for myself. As for Saudi Arabia, it's unclear if Alvarez will ever fight there. He has expressed strong dissatisfaction with the Boxing Federation, including Turki Alal Sheikh, over how he has been treated.
No estoy pidiendo esa pelea. Al final
claro que no. La quiero para mi hijo, por favor.
Sí, no, aquí yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first.
According to reports, Alvarez may finally be open to facing David Benavidez in the near future. However, he has demanded a staggering $200 million for the fight, and Turki Alalshik doesn't seem interested in meeting his terms. Alalshik has played a major role in reshaping boxing in recent years, helping the sport regain momentum in the combat world. Despite this, Alvarez isn't eager to go along with his vision, and Alalshik seems equally unwilling to accommodate Canelo's demands. In his latest move, Alalshik has made it clear he's not budging.
Biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you asking about that, because you say, your match is coming.
Speaking to the media, Canelo Alvarez explained why he's asking for $200 million to fight Benavidez. Obviously, he's a risk. He's a great fighter, and on fight night, he comes in 25 pounds heavier than me. It's a risk, but I don't care. If the money's right, it can happen tomorrow. A $200 million price tag would require an enormous gate for promoters to turn a profit, and Turki Alalshik is well aware of that.
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
Taking to his social media, Turki Alalshik dismissed Canelo Alvarez's demand. I heard Canelo say that he respects me, but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me whether he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it. Because I only target big fights at fair prices. Of course, anyone who prefers easy fights won't like that. That's not all. Alalshik also questioned Alvarez's ability as a fighter. He said, Canelo is looking for easy fights, and I understand how he feels after losing to Bivol. Ever since then, he's been seeking easier matchups. I'm not the one afraid to fight Benavidez or Crawford. I knew he was just wasting our time with big money demands that can't be paid. I'm staying focused on making big fights that benefit boxing, while he seems to be on a path toward just easy show-only fights.
Right now,
Yeah.
Turkey has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
This situation must be discouraging for Terence Crawford, who had viewed a fight with Canelo Alvarez as the biggest of his career, a bout that could secure him his highest payday. Crawford had been open to the idea of a thrilling showdown with the Mexican star, as long as a lucrative offer was made. You know what they say, if the money's right, we've got a fight, he said ringside.
It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent. You know, we knew that coming in the gate.
Crawford went on to say, but at the same time, he's got his own fight to focus on with his last opponent. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, and enjoy this win and the accomplishments I've made in boxing. When asked again about a potential fight with Canelo, Crawford added,
the right hand wasn't bothering me. You know, I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. You know, he landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around.
Crawford replied, it's not so important to me. It's just another milestone towards greatness, both in terms of my career and financially. However, before Alvarez and Crawford's potential fight gained attention, Canelo and Turki Alalshik had been at odds. Their feud started several months ago when Alalshik, the figurehead of the Riyadh season movement and the person largely responsible for revitalizing boxing, posted an update on social media.
Like Alalshik say that he sent an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
Alalshik discussed his plans to keep producing boxing events in the United States and shared details about potential next steps for some of the top fighters he's worked with over the years. Notably, he called out Canelo regarding a potential fight with Crawford, stating that it's no longer something he's interested in. Crawford, on the other hand, has expressed his desire to face Canelo, calling it a legacy fight that could secure generational wealth. Alalshik had publicly stated his intentions to make that fight happen.
I said to him, we will send you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it. But he said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari
Canelo was asked how much he'd want to fight Crawford, and he told one reporter he'd need $150 million. It's unclear whether that was a serious demand or just posturing. It's also uncertain if that response led Alalshik to abandon plans for a Canelo-Crawford mega fight. In any case, the fight seemed dead at the time. However, those of us familiar with boxing know that nothing is ever truly dead in negotiations. If both sides genuinely want the fight, it can and will eventually happen. Aside from Crawford, arguably Canelo's biggest fight right now is against Benavidez, a volume puncher who poses the most significant threat to the Mexican star.
The champion is up 168ers. Now just give me the fight that we all want to see. Who wants to see David Benavidez versus Canelo? That's what you guys want to see?
Speaking to ESPN about a potential showdown with the undisputed super middleweight champion, Benavidez said, "The reason this fight isn't happening is because Canelo doesn't want it to happen. Plain and simple. The money is there. The fan anticipation is there. It would be an amazing event." However, the 27-year-old will have to wait his turn for a shot at undisputed glory. Benavidez also shared his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez, advising Munguia to throw combinations and then escape to the outside to avoid getting hit back by Canelo in their upcoming fight. Benavidez believes he shouldn't fight Canelo on the inside, as that's where Canelo excels. When asked if the Mexican could beat Canelo, the Mexican monster Bandera Roa told the Shanzid YouTube channel, "I think so, but I don't think it's going to be an easy fight."
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. Munguia, you know, he's a strong fighter. He's a combination puncher. And if you see the fighters that give Canelo problems with a combination puncher.
He's a strong fighter, a combination puncher, and if you look at the fighters who give Canelo problems, they're combination punchers, Benavidez said. He also emphasized the importance of being cautious during the fight and avoiding punishment from Alvarez. The only thing he has to do is keep his distance. He can't fight on the inside against Canelo because that's where Canelo thrives. He loves throwing body shots and will find you, so he has to keep his distance, throw combinations, and then get away.
Canelo, because that's what Canelo thrives at. He loves throwing those body shots and he will find it. So he has to keep distance, punching combinations, and get out the way. If he doesn't have to be there, then don't be there. Don't receive unnecessary.
Benavidez went on to say that if he can avoid Canelo's punches, it would definitely take a toll on Alvarez's performance. He also praised the power behind his own punches, saying, "If you don't have to be there, then don't be there and take unnecessary punishment. I've been watching Canelo for a long time, and I've got a good game plan for him. If I can execute that, it's going to be a tough fight." He can crack too. You can see that in his fight with John Ryder. His power punching is serious, and it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be as easy as people say. He's a tough fighter, and while he does get hit a lot in boxing, sometimes it's just inevitable. You're going to get hit.
Munguia is able to do that, and it's going to be a tough fight. Because Munguia could crack too. Munguia could crack. You can see that when he fought John Ryder. You know, he's power punch. He could crack, so it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be easy, like how people say it is. You know, Munguia is a tough fighter. You know, he's Mexican blood. He's a warrior, so it's going to be a good fight.
Interestingly, David Benavidez seems to have accepted that a showdown with Saul Canelo Alvarez may not happen anytime soon, and has embraced the upcoming fight between Canelo and Jaime Munguia, despite his ongoing efforts to be recognized as a serious challenger to the Mexican champion. Canelo's stance has remained firm, leaving Benavidez at a disadvantage. As a result, the Arizona native has shifted his focus to new challenges in the light heavyweight division. He has confirmed his next fight at 175 lbs against Ukrainian Alexander Vovchanchin, scheduled for June. This comes after being named the WBC super middleweight mandatory challenger last year, a position that ultimately allowed Canelo to avoid facing him without risking his title. Easy. For Benavidez, who has struggled to secure a fight with Canelo, this situation has pushed him to look at other options. The idea of facing Canelo became even more complicated when Benavidez demanded a massive $150 million purse for serious negotiations to move forward. Recently, there has been another obstacle standing in the way of the potential fight. Benavidez, who is 6 years younger, 6 inches taller, has a 4-inch longer reach, and is naturally the bigger and faster fighter, presents a challenge to Alvarez. To ease the 33-year-old Alvarez's concerns, it was recently revealed that Benavidez is open to a rehydration clause in the contract.
They're gonna say, oh, they put me that clause, so nothing to do with that fight.
However, Alvarez doesn't see any benefit in imposing weight stipulations on Benavidez. A rehydration clause is a lose-lose situation because after the fight, they're gonna say it was because of this. And then what? Then they'll talk about that clause when I beat him. They'll say it was because of the clause, and it won't have anything to do with the fight, Alvarez said in an interview from his training camp home near Lake Tahoe, California.
You're in a lose-lose situation too.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
Much like Ryan Garcia pointed to his 136 lb catch weight and 10 lb rehydration clause as a key reason for his knockout loss to Gervonta Davis, Alvarez believes a similar narrative will be created if he beats Benavidez. Alvarez is no stranger to weight clauses in major fights. When a younger Alvarez fought and suffered his first career loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. in 2013, he was the WBC and WBA 154 lb champion, but had to fight at a 152 lb catch weight. Mayweather insisted on the clause after initially requesting the fight to take place at 147 lb. Then 150 lb before agreeing on 152. Alvarez weighed 165 lb on the night of the fight, while Mayweather weighed in at 150.2 lb and fought at 151 lb.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
Alvarez suffered his first loss that night, which is why he's not in favor of such clauses. However, David Benavidez believes he understands why Canelo is avoiding him. Last month it was revealed that Benavidez would move up in weight to fight Alexander Gvozdyk for the interim 175 lb-OBC title after being unable to secure a fight with the 168 lb champion Canelo. Speaking to the media at Jermel Diaz's press conference in Miami on Wednesday, Benavidez explained why he decided to move up. I don't know what Canelo wants to do. I was the #1 contender for the belt. I've been waiting 3 years and he didn't want to give me the opportunity, so I got tired of waiting. I want to give the fans the best fights, and if he doesn't want to fight me, I had to move up and find other fights.
I'm not scared of nobody. I've hurt everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for 150 million.
Benavidez believes Canelo doesn't want to fight him because he knows he will lose. I think he already knows what's going to happen when he fights me. I'm younger, stronger, faster, and he knows it very well. That's why I think he doesn't want to fight me, Benavidez stated. Despite being 6 years younger and the undisputed champion, Benavidez has rarely spoken respectfully about his rival. This means the pound-for-pound superstar might break one of the unwritten rules of his illustrious career. The intrigue and war of words surrounding a potential Canelo versus Benavidez matchup began somewhat inadvertently.
The WBC has ordered Canelo to fight you next if you win this. So if you do win, would you force the WBC to strip Canelo if he doesn't fight you?
Canelo was discussing the potential matchup between his conqueror, WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. If Zurdo wins the fight, I don't want to fight with Mexicans. I represent Mexico, Alvarez told USA Today. I think Zurdo has a chance to win, and I want him to win. Canelo made these comments leading up to his trilogy fight against Gennady Golovkin. However, the point became irrelevant as Bivol boxed masterfully in Abu Dhabi last November, defeating Ramirez by a wide unanimous decision.
Career, if I don't mean anything. Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the people I'm getting frustrated, I just want to fight the best. I've earned my time.
But Benavidez quickly took issue with Canelo's comments. To be honest, I feel like I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, but I was born in the US. I feel like he's just talking about his countrymen, people from Mexico, he told a news source. I get a lot of criticism too. People saying I'm American, not Mexican. That comment Canelo made, it's not for me. I'm not 100% Mexican, but I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, and I was born in the US. I feel like if he's not gonna fight any more Mexicans, then what's going on? I have the WBC interim belt. We have rankings for a reason. I've earned my spot repeatedly. I've won 2 title eliminators. It's not my fault these guys don't want to fight me. I don't want to keep talking and talking because we all look like freaking idiots. The walls are closing in for these fighters.
A vicious champion for a long, long time, and you know, I've won my shots. You know, I've earned my respect. Now the only thing that's keeping me from being champion is Canelo. You know, he doesn't.
Even though Benavidez also mentioned the likes of Jermall Charlo, David Morrell, and Caleb Plant in his comments, it certainly caught Canelo's attention. When asked about a potential Benavidez fight after dominating Golovkin, Canelo responded, I don't know, anything can happen. He continued, when I say I don't want to fight Mexicans, it's because I represent Mexico, that's why. But I don't care, I'll fight anybody. My entire life I've fought anybody.
I don't want to fight Mexican is because I represent Mexico. And that's why. But I don't care. I fight anybody. And I fight all my entire life, anybody. What do you think?
Canelo has faced several compatriots early in his career, but it's true that since reaching the world level, he has fought fewer Mexicans. As for David Benavídez training Terence Crawford for his potential fight against Canelo, it's an interesting development. Benavidez certainly brings valuable insights on Canelo's style, but it's hard to say whether it will distract Crawford from his own fight against David Morrell. It could either enhance Crawford's strategy or put extra pressure on him to focus on 2 major matchups. Both fights are incredibly intriguing. Crawford is known for his adaptability, but Canelo's power and experience at 154 pounds make it tough to call. As for Benavidez and Morrell, I expect it to be an exciting battle, with Benavidez's volume punching putting him at an advantage, but Morrell's youth and style could make it unpredictable. What do you think? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more boxing news. Until next time, peace out.